Hi, my name is Victor Cantore. I'm the president and CEO of Amex Exploration. We've positioned the company now being a near-term producer. We're still going to continue doing exploration. We have a big backyard to play with. We have 197 square kilometers, where before we had 45.6, but we can also put the project into production, and we've posted a PA not too long ago to show how we're going to do this.
Victor, good to see you, man. Very good to see you indeed. And I think the market is very pleased with the recent results. We're going to kind of talk through all of the numbers, and we're going to talk about the how you do it. But just remind people what the big idea. What's the vision?
The vision is doing a dual path, where you can put the project into production, give a good return to your shareholders, and limit the dilution by doing a further exploration program with self-funded, and including self-funding also your main plant, because we're gonna do it in phases. So phase one will finance phase two.
Always focus on the money.
Absolutely.
Focus on the money. So it's near-term revenue, but we should read near-term revenue is what we're talking about here to fund that vision. Okay. So we talked about this last year, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Market didn't quite understand what you're trying to do. So what we've just said is pretty much what you said last year. But when you first put out that resource, people were like, I don't know about that one. They obviously think something different now.
Well, what's really nice about it now is that we've showed that there's enough measured and indicated that we don't need to do any more definition drilling for phase one. Right. There's enough in the measured and indicated to go forward with a feasibility study. Yeah. Because most of the time to get to the feasibility study, you have to have enough ounces in the measured and indicated. Now again, we're fortunate that the Champagne zone has 831,000 ounces in measured and indicated at 16.2 grams, and right beside a town, right beside hydroelectricity. That's the same plant that supplies Casa Berardi, and it's the same one that provides the town of Normetal. You have water, electricity, and most of all is you have a workforce. Workforce is very important. I don't need a mining camp there. The ones who live in Normetal can go home for lunch. The ones that are in La Sarre, which is about 23 minutes away, they can go back home. So they can go back home, young engineers, young geologists, they can go back home with their families at nighttime. Okay. They don't need to do a 14 in, 14 out.
Okay, so the plan is sort of broken up, as you say, you're indicating is phase one, which is a kind of 4-year plan, and then beyond, where you kind of self-fund the mill, and that all makes sense to me. Before we kind of get to that point, people have got to believe that you can build this thing, because the payback at spot price is crazy. It's have you done
so pre-tax it's 0.2.
Right.
That's about 2.5 months.
Okay, 2.5 months. And pre-tax meaning obviously because you pay the tax at a later date.
Paying the tax later.
But you're generating cash in the meantime. So it's right. So you pay it back in 2.5 months. Okay, so people understand that.
After tax it's 0.4. So.
0.4. Okay, so these are extraordinary numbers, and that's because you kind of focused on the Champagne zone, 16 gram per ton. It's extraordinarily beneficial that grade. So talk about the 4-year plan. What do you need to put together in terms of any more data, in terms of the economic studies, in terms of the team, a build-out team for all of this, and your thoughts on accessing capital in a market like this?
Absolutely. So we call it a phase one and phase two, but there's actually another phase just before that, which is the bulk sample. Yeah. So application for the bulk sample will be going in shortly. We will announce it. And in the bulk sample, what we'll do is we'll actually build the portal, the decline. The decline will be a production size decline. It's there for scientific purposes. Now it all depends how many tons the government will allow us. Yeah. That in itself will generate revenues, but we'll leave that aside. What's important is that, so if you look at the timing on that portal, that decline should be built by the end of 2026 or at the earliest of 2027. That's when you're going to be extracting your bulk sample. If we back up to today, phase one, we're going to start the feasibility study very shortly. That should take no more than 6 months or so. The reason the feasibility study, I'm sure some eyebrows are raising now saying, how are you going to do a feasibility study in 6 months? It's crazy. But it's not. It's because it's for toll milling only. So you're not building a mill. There's no open pits to permit. There's no tailings management facility to permit. Your waste rock is going somewhere else where they're permitted. So that's going to be, we're just looking at the economics of extracting, sending it somewhere else. So feasibility gets ready in more or less in 6 months. That will trigger our environmental and all the permitting that we need. Usually Quebec, it's about a 2-year process. I'm expecting that process to go pretty smoothly, and maybe it could be less than 2 years, because again, we're not building all the other materials that take time. That'll take you to sometime in 2028. But the fact that you build a production size decline, you don't usually get permitted, and then you build it. Now I don't need to build it anymore. It's already built. Yes, I'm going to have to continue ramp development, but that's how we expect to be. We're expecting to be a producer sometime in 2028 or maybe earlier.
There's a few things going on here in a very forgiving market. You know, as you say, the gold price doing what it's doing at the moment. You're super high grade on the starter pit, or the
absolutely.
It is very forgiving, and by that I mean you're going from PEA to feasibility study, missing out PFS because of the simplicity of that. What happens with the toll milling, the first 4-year thing? You're generating a ton of cash. Does that mean you can also then kind of skip out the economic study, move into other types of internal studies? Will there be studies that you have to go through to announce to the marketplace once you sort of are, one, already producing cash, but two, thinking about doing this mill? How's that work in terms of checks and balances?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're going to be doing 2 feasibility studies. The first one is for the toll milling part.
Yeah.
The second one is going to be for everything you're going to do on site, having your own mill, having your own open pits. That's going to start sometime in mid to late 2026. That's going to go through its process. That's going to be a normal 1.5 years. Then, permitting, and, by the time that mill is ready, it'll be 2031, 2032, which matches exactly, we toll mill for 4 years, and then we put everything through our own mill after that.
So is this dual track in terms of tolling and your own production and processing? You're going to have like 2 sets of environmental studies to go through.
That's correct.
You are. So one will be a kind of environmental light, because there's not so much going on being built there. Okay. So that's the most expeditious way of getting through to cash flow. But so who on the team is going to be? Well, will you be bringing new people on the team?
Yes, absolutely. We're bringing in more and more. So we have a mining engineer. He was at the Greenstone mine from 2019 all the way till 2024. He was a mining engineer. We're going to be bringing other experts for underground mining, because the majority of this project is going to be underground. The expertise, the team, absolutely. We're going to continue building it. And also, you got to look at phase 1 as you're entering revenues is going to be financing, is going to be self-funding phase 2.
Right. Okay. And you've also got this dual track of you're going to continue doing exploration.
Absolutely. So it's like your 3 tracks.
Right. Okay. So there's a lot of moving parts. It's a kind of a strange hybrid of a company, but with the ultimate goal saying we've got to take advantage of a market like this to get into cash flow. Now, clearly the general market, retail market, has accepted what you're saying and is rewarding you for that. But what about the kind of corporate side of the share register? What's that look like at the moment?
Well, it's amazing. We have Eldorado has increased from 9% all the way to 17%. Yeah. Eric Sprout continues supporting us. He's around 10.5%. Yeah. There is another corporate that we have an NDA with them, but it continues moving ahead nicely. We are getting support. We definitely want to move forward on those three tracks. Look, I think exploration. I think we've shown that we can.
You're good.
We're good at exploring and finding. Yeah. We went from a playground of 45 square kilometers to now 197 square kilometers. So they've got a lot. And there's a rhyolite. It's very similar. It's on our PowerPoint on the site, where it shows the Beaupré block where we found all the gold so far. And conceptually, seems like there's something on the Ontario side also that's very similar to it, which we're going to start exploring there and start drilling. We're going to continue drilling on the Quebec side too. By no means are any of our any of our zones right now are not closed at all in any way. They're open at depth, open on strike. So we're going to continue adding those ounces. Now, if you look at our PA, it's got a 17.5-year mine life. The first 10 years is where you see the stronger the ounces, and we're going to continue finding more gold and filling up the back end. I mean, I'm quite confident that you're going to be finding more gold on a greenstone belt and continue finding more gold there. Yeah,
and you obviously raised some money recently and upsized it a few times. Yeah. So money's not a problem for gold companies at the moment. What are the other advantages here? Because I look at some other kind of high-grade gold companies, but they seem sort of stranded. And stranded, I guess, geographically in some ways. Stranded in terms of access to a workforce and all the other infrastructure benefits here. So it's important to be in the right place.
Well, if somebody were, if you would put a bunch of geologists and a couple of mining engineers together and tell them, design me where you want to mine, this would be one of those where they would design it. You're 5-6 kilometers away from the town, so you're far enough not to disturb the town, but you're close enough. Yeah. You're close enough to take advantage of all its infrastructure. Right. I mean, workforce. I mean, I'd rather be working somewhere where I could go home at night versus doing a 14 day in, 14 day out. I mean, it all has its disadvantages, but I think it's quite positive.
It is positive, and if you're going to be delivering the feasibility in that kind of time frame as well, you must be sort of having those conversations, just sort of sounding groups out. And obviously, it's quite obvious to see. Just read any of the press at the moment. Money's available. New types of money is available. Generalist money is available, and the terms seem to be more and more favourable.
That's correct.
From what I can see,
absolutely.
Cost of capital is going down, so that's nice.
Yeah, but also our capex is not a big capex. Like we put out the new numbers, it's $146 million. Yeah, and then they call it growth capital. Is because once you've achieved commercial production, it's no longer considered capex. It's growth capital because it's being self-funded. Yeah. So it's not a this is not a $1 billion project to put together. Yeah. And most of it gets self-funded. So we're quite fortunate having this deposit where it's located, this high grade. So we're going to take advantage of that. I mean, as a shareholder, if a company tells me they have an economic deposit and it's not a big capex, you're not going to dilute a lot, then I say build it.
Well, I think that was the idea from the start, wasn't it?
Yeah,
if you
absolutely.
can build it in a market like this. Like I'm sure we could dive into the exploration and then drilling, etc. But I just don't think that's for now. I think you kept the story really simple today, and it's as simple as that. This thing has a long way to go in terms of the growth component. Absolutely. The funding and it shouldn't be a problem in a market like this, and the payback is quick. So this is now no longer just exploration. You have to change the name of the company, I think.
It's a near-term producer. The name, yeah, absolutely. We're most likely at the next AGM we will change the name. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Many still confuse us with. They think we're only an exploration company.
Yeah.
But
no. Things have changed. Good to see you again, and I keep it short and sweet.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
This looks like it's definitely one for 2026 for investors. Thank you.
It's great. Thank you.